Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about something that almost no one truly prepares you for. You spend 9 months tracking your baby's size, taking your prenatal vitamins, decorating the nursery, and reading every single book you can find about childbirth and newborn care. But very few people sit you down and tell you exactly what is going to happen to your own mind and your own body in the days immediately following the birth. You bring this beautiful, tiny human into the world, and society tells you that you are supposed to feel nothing but pure, unadulterated bliss. That is what the movies show us. That is what social media shows us. But for the vast majority of new mothers all around the world, reality looks very, very different. If you find yourself holding your precious new baby and suddenly bursting into tears for absolutely no reason at all, you are not alone, you are not failing, and you are not crazy. You are experiencing what is commonly known as the baby blues. Let us break down exactly what the baby blues are, why they happen, and how you can navigate this incredibly overwhelming time. First and foremost, I want to give you a statistic that should instantly make you feel less alone in this journey. Up to 80% of new mothers experience the baby blues. Let that sink in for a moment. 8 out of 10 women. This is not a rare complication. This is not a sign that you are not meant to be a mother. This is a highly common, expected biological and psychological reaction to giving birth. It crosses all cultures, all borders, and all backgrounds. It is a deeply universal human experience. So, what exactly causes this sudden, intense wave of emotion? To understand the baby blues, we have to look at the sheer biological marathon your body has just completed. During pregnancy, your body produces massive amounts of hormones, specifically estrogen and progesterone. In fact, in the 3rd trimester of your pregnancy, your body is producing more estrogen in a single day than a non-pregnant woman produces in 3 whole years. These hormones are absolutely essential for maintaining the pregnancy and helping your baby grow safely. But the moment you give birth and deliver the placenta, the production of these hormones drops off a cliff. It is the single largest and most sudden hormonal shift a human being can experience. Your estrogen and progesterone levels plummet back to their pre-pregnancy levels within just 24 to 48 hours. Imagine riding a roller coaster that suddenly drops straight down. That is exactly what your internal endocrine system is doing. And this dramatic crash directly affects your brain chemistry, specifically the neurotransmitters that regulate your mood. On top of this hormonal freefall, your body is recovering from the intense physical trauma and exertion of childbirth, whether you had an unmedicated vaginal delivery, an epidural, or a cesarean section. Your body is doing the heavy lifting of physical healing. Meanwhile, your milk is coming in, which brings its own surge of hormones like prolactin and oxytocin. Oxytocin, often called the love hormone, is surging to help your uterus contract back to its normal size and to facilitate the letdown reflex for breastfeeding. But these sudden surges can also leave you feeling emotionally raw and highly vulnerable. It is a biological paradox where you are wired to fiercely protect and bond with your baby, while simultaneously feeling completely depleted. Add to this the profound, bone-deep exhaustion of newborn sleep deprivation, and it is honestly a medical miracle that new mothers can function at all. What do the baby blues actually feel like in practice? The symptoms usually begin around the 2nd or 3rd day after giving birth. Coincidentally, this is often the exact time you are discharged from the hospital or birthing center and sent home to figure things out on your own without around-the-clock medical staff. You might feel incredibly weepy. You might drop a spoon on the floor and start sobbing, or look at your sleeping baby and cry, or cry just because you do not know why you are crying. You might experience sudden, unpredictable mood swings, feeling perfectly fine 1 minute and intensely irritable, frustrated, or angry the next. Anxiety is also a major component of the baby blues. You might feel a constant, low-level hum of worry about the baby's breathing, their feeding schedule, or whether you are doing anything right. You might feel entirely overwhelmed by simple, everyday tasks, and despite being utterly exhausted, you might find it completely impossible to sleep when the baby sleeps, because your mind is racing with worst-case scenarios. It is incredibly important to talk about the profound psychological shift happening right now, too. Anthropologists and psychologists call this period matrescence, which is the process of becoming a mother. Just like adolescence, it is a time of massive physical, emotional, and identity transition. You are mourning the loss of your old, independent life while simultaneously trying to learn how to care for a completely dependent newborn. In many modern societies around the globe, we have lost the traditional village structure. In the past, and still in some beautiful cultures today, a new mother was surrounded by aunts, sisters, and grandmothers who cooked, cleaned, and cared for her so she could simply stay in bed, rest, and bond with her baby. Today, many mothers are expected to immediately resume their normal lives, manage a household, and sometimes even return to work shortly after giving birth. The pressure is immense, and frankly, it is incredibly unfair to the healing mother. Now, we need to make a very clear and crucial distinction between the baby blues and postpartum depression, commonly known as PPD. Because while the baby blues are temporary, PPD requires professional medical support. The baby blues generally peak around day 4 or 5 and should naturally begin to resolve on their own by the time your baby is 2 weeks old. As your hormones finally level out and you slowly establish a predictable routine with your newborn, the dense emotional fog will start to lift. You will still be very tired, but that intense emotional fragility and sudden tearfulness will fade. Postpartum depression, however, is a much more severe and longer-lasting condition. If your symptoms persist past the 2-week mark, if they are getting progressively worse instead of better, or if they are so severe that they interfere with your ability to care for yourself or safely care for your baby, you may be experiencing PPD. Symptoms of postpartum depression include severe, debilitating mood swings, a complete inability to bond with your baby, overwhelming fatigue that doesn't improve with rest, complete loss of appetite, severe anxiety or panic attacks, and profound feelings of worthlessness, shame, or guilt. In severe cases, it can include scary, intrusive thoughts of harming yourself or your baby. If you ever experience those thoughts, you need to reach out to a healthcare provider, a trusted family member, or an emergency contact immediately. Postpartum depression is a recognized medical illness, no different than developing an infection or having high blood pressure. It is not a character flaw, it does not mean you are a bad mother, and it is highly treatable with professional therapy and medication. Please never suffer in silence because you feel ashamed of your symptoms. But if you are currently in the thick of the 2-week baby blues, how do you survive it? How do you get through these intensely emotional and exhausting days? The very first step is radical acceptance. Give yourself permission to feel exactly how you are feeling without any guilt. Stop fighting the tears. If you need to cry, just cry. Acknowledge that you have just done something physically and emotionally monumental, and your body is desperately trying to recalibrate. Do not judge yourself for not feeling joyful and perfect every single second of the day. Secondly, you must prioritize rest over absolutely everything else in your life right now. Notice I said rest, not necessarily sleep. We all know the common advice to sleep when the baby sleeps is often completely unrealistic, but you can rest when the baby rests. Leave the dishes in the sink, ignore the laundry piling up in the corner, order takeout, or let people cook for you. The only things that truly matter right now are safely feeding your baby and taking care of your own healing body. If someone offers to help, let them. If they ask what they can do, give them a highly specific task. Tell them to drop off groceries, tell them to hold the baby while you take a long, warm shower, or tell them to run the vacuum cleaner. This is not the time to play the hero or try to do it all yourself. Nutrition plays a massive role in how you feel emotionally. Your body is depleting a huge amount of calories and essential nutrients around the clock, especially if you are exclusively breastfeeding. You need warm, nourishing, easily digestible foods. Keep a massive water bottle next to you at all times. Dehydration can actually mimic and severely exacerbate feelings of anxiety, dizziness, and fatigue. Keep high-protein, easy-to-eat snacks within arm's reach wherever you usually sit to feed the baby. For the partners, husbands, and support people listening to this script, your role right now is absolutely critical. You are the shield. Your job is to protect the mother's peace at all costs. Manage the incoming visitors. If she is overwhelmed, it is your job to politely but firmly tell family and friends that you are not accepting visitors today. Make sure she has eaten a real meal. Bring her fresh water every single time she sits down to feed the baby. Do not ask her what needs to be done around the house. Just look around, see what is messy, and clean it up. Validate her feelings constantly. When she is crying, do not try to logically fix the problem or tell her she has no rational reason to cry. Just hold her, tell her she is doing an amazing job, and gently remind her that this is just the hormones and the storm will eventually pass. To the partners, you might be feeling entirely helpless watching the person you love struggle so much. The most powerful thing you can do is simply be a steady, calm, and reliable presence. Take over every single diaper change, handle the burping, and make sure the environment is quiet and soothing. Dim the harsh lights, put on soft music, and minimize household chaos. Your proactive, quiet support is the absolute best medicine for the baby blues. Finally, Do yourself a massive favor and limit your time on social media. When you are sitting alone in the dark at 3 in the morning, utterly exhausted and covered in spit up, scrolling through heavily curated, filtered photos of other mothers who look perfectly put together will only make you feel significantly worse about your own reality. Remember that people only post their highlight reels to the internet. They are not posting the moments where they are sobbing on the bathroom floor from sheer exhaustion or struggling to get their baby to latch. Disconnect from the digital world and connect with your own messy reality. The baby blues are a heavy storm, but like all storms, they will eventually pass. The clouds will part, your hormones will finally find their baseline, and you will begin to find your footing and your confidence in this entirely new chapter of your life. You are so much stronger than you currently realize, and you are exactly the mother your baby needs. Take a deep breath, be incredibly gentle with yourself, and I will see you in the next video.